Hello, I'm Debbie Kennedy, the Global Senior Director of Professional Services and Flooring here at Thinkley, and I am thrilled to be celebrating International Women's Day today with a remarkable woman, Melissa Pancner. So she is the owner and president of ProSource of Pensacola, which has been in business for 20 years, and also ProSource of Birmingham, which is almost at 9 years. She's been using RFMS all along the way, so we've been partners for many, many years. And I'm going to take a moment to share a personal experience. My first encounter with ProSource of Pensacola was when I worked in support 13 years ago. And sometimes you just know there are people that have such a positive effect on their team and on their customers and always try to do right by those people. And that is Melissa. So I'm very happy that she is with us today. Hi, Melissa. How are you doing?
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
I'm very excited to join you today.
Is there anything in the intro that I missed?
No, we've been doing this 20 years. We've been with RFMS all along the way. We're actually about to open a third showroom, so that's super exciting. And we'll be
Congratulations.
continuing our journey with RFMS. Very
Very
excited.
good. Well, I have some questions today so we can learn from your experience. And we're actually going to start with your life experience.
Okay.
How has your life experience made you the leader that you are today?
Well, I'm the oldest of four children. My mom passed away when I was really young, and so I've sort of always led the way in our family. At a really early age in my career, I decided I didn't want to work for anybody else because I like to do things my way, and so I've sort of just along the way, you know just been very driven to accomplish the goals and things that I personally want to achieve, bring some great people along with me. And, I just, I'm not a good follower.
Well, you definitely are a good leader. And with that, a leader has to think about equity.
Yes.
So, equity is about both the individual and systemically ensuring that policies, practices, and systems provide all individuals access to opportunities, resources, and recognition to be successful. As an individual woman in business, what have you seen done to embrace equity on a company wide level?
So, on a company wide level, I don't believe in micromanaging. I believe in helping my people identify their strengths and what they're very good at, and then coaching them and giving them the experiences to put those skills into practice. Um, we very much empower our people to make decisions that they are comfortable standing behind, and you know in the moment we want them to be able to be able to stand on their 2 feet, and then if they have to come back and talk to us or defend their position, we always want them to have the confidence to know that we're going to stand behind them and support them, whenever it's right, which is most often. But we try to empower our people to also lead, so that really within our organization, many of our people can step into a leadership role. Some don't always want to, but many have the ability to do so. And we like to just give them the confidence and the tools to be able to do that if those are the paths that they want to go down.
And, as I said when I introduced you, I definitely feel that from my interaction with everyone at your company.
Yes, yes. Well, my children are involved in the business, which was
Yeah.
never the intention. But they have grown up in the business and they are now assuming much greater leadership roles. I think you've worked with my daughter. I know you've
Oh,
worked
yes.
with my sales manager here, Jesse. They are absolutely incredible women. And honestly, um, the the thing that I try to do in coaching and empowering them is to give them the grace and the ability to be able to duplicate me so that I can step away when I want to recharge and go take on other leadership roles and
Mhm.
opportunities. And so I think that we've done a really good job in our organization empowering women to be in leadership roles.
Absolutely. That's how you're potentially going to have a third press source soon, I'm
Of course,
sure.
of course.
So this year, International Women's Day theme is Accelerate Action for Gender Equality. How do you help accelerate that action other than obviously the coaching and empowering that you're doing with your team now?
Well, I mean, you know, you have to be fair on all sides, right? But I do look to hire women whenever I can, to support other women in business, to call out women in business. Um, I mean, I grew up around I'm in flooring. It's predominantly for a long time has been predominantly a man's world. Construction is, you know, quite often more so men than women. But I was fortunate. I grew up, with a Marine father who believed that just because you were a woman didn't mean you couldn't achieve whatever you wanted. I had brothers, so I knew the mix of all the dynamics. That so one of the things, or several of the things that I do is I call out other females who own businesses, other women that own businesses, and embrace those businesses and support those businesses, and encourage others to do that as well. Because we did. I know this may be a question further down the road, but we did lose ground in COVID because women have a lot of roles that we have to do. I'm fortunate to be a business owner. I'm fortunate that I have the opportunity to do that and to lead other people. But women also, depending on what they want to do, can have just a plethora of roles. I mean, we're moms, we're wives, we're caregivers, everything that has to get done feels like a lot of times it falls back onto us. I don't know if it's because we're just so good at it and we're so organized or, you know, um, others are not. But I think that we have to um, make sure that we're providing support um and confidence and kindness to other women so that they can feel secure in their journey to be better women, to be better leaders. Because over the time in my life, I've learned that there's nothing I can't do if I really want to, and the only person that I really need to compete with is myself. And the other women around me, I try to surround myself with women that also have similar goals, so that I have a network of support. You know, when I go to someone else in business, I like to listen to the challenges they've faced and the things that they've done to empower themselves to be successful. And I think women just sharing those things with each other and helping each other and setting aside all of the obstacles and noise that we can get into and just learn from each other. I think it goes a really long way in empowering us to be leaders, to be business owners, to be um, heads of our field. I just think that we have to embrace each other and support each other.
100%. I love that answer. Thank you. So, what does inclusion mean to you when it comes to your career? It seems like you kind of answered a lot of that in the last question, but would you have any suggestions of personal experiences that you've had to help other women be more inclusive or actually enter gender be more inclusive?
Well, again, I think that we have to embrace and empower and support each other, and that is so much more important than competing and jealousy and envy and all the things that can come with um, different spots that we happen to be, because all people can get to the same place. It's
Right.
if they want to, if they're driven, if it's really important to them. We do the things that are important to us and we prioritize those things. And so I think inclusion, the inclusion to me, or the I just think that we have to bring everybody together and help each other get there.
How do you think we can inspire people to live by that, to be inclusive and, as you said, not compete with one another?
I think we have to lead by example. I really do. I think just just some words of encouragement sometimes are all somebody needs on a bad day. It's not terrible to compliment somebody. Oh, you look nice today. Oh, are you having a good day? Just things that maybe stop the moment and take the chaos out and help uplift other people. I think that that is so empowering. And if we just all stop every now and again and say great job to somebody, or is there anything I can kind of do to help, just things like that, that just maybe give us a little bit of extra power or energy when we maybe don't feel like we have it in us at that moment. Just that little bit of push for someone else is sometimes just enough to make them not stop and keep going and get to the next level. And I just think that it's important that we do that on a regular basis.
Completely agree. I mean, you never know what anyone else is going through at any given time, and the smallest words of encouragement can make such an amazing difference.
You gotta keep going through the bad stuff to get to the great stuff. And if we didn't have some stuff that was a little uncomfortable or not especially wonderful from time to time, we couldn't appreciate the other things when we reach those achievements, when we reach those goals, when we find those moments of happiness. And so sometimes along the way the road's a little bumpy, but you know, it's an incredible journey if we just believe in ourselves and help each other out.
Melissa, now you've mentioned it being a male dominated industry primarily. How do you navigate that in both your professional life and personal life?
So in my professional life, being in this industry, and it is definitely changing. There are more and more women coming in all of the time. But I participate in some of the leadership program with ProSource National, and I'm always learning. I mean, I'm always learning from the men in the room, but I sure do wish there were more women in the room, and we're getting there. I mean, we definitely are getting there. Um, but I think about the changes and where we've been and where we're going. And when I disconnect, I like to totally disconnect and sort of recharge. And so one of the things that we do is my husband and I scuba dive. And sometimes we'll go on a liveaboard or we'll go to an island where there's just no signal. Um, and it's very interesting because there will be times, and it's especially, it seems like some of the harder trips, like we recently went to Cocos Island, and that's in Costa Rica, and the boat ride is 36 hours out to the dive site each
Wow.
way. And then we're on a boat for a week. And we went out there to dive with hammerhead sharks. Um, and it was really interesting because there were only two other women on the entire boat. And scuba diving is a perfect example of, it's heavily dominated with men, but you see more and more women coming into the sport. We're taking better care of our health. We're more competitive. The gear is heavy, and so some people are claustrophobic. They just, don't always think that they can do it. And for me, it's a place where I find so much happiness and peace because it's so quiet and I'm in this whole other realm, and able to do these things that, I mean, most women aren't comfortable comfortable doing, but we're actually really good at it when we get out of our own space and try new things. And I mean, that's just a perfect example of something that a lot of women think that they just couldn't do, and they are surprisingly successful in it. I've met so many women that own their own shops across the world, and they're supported so heavily by women. I mean, we even have a group, Girls at Scuba, and it's just a network of women who um, embrace each other through business or encouragement or, fears. It's a great support group. You can get in there and say, hey, this happened when I was diving and it made me really uncomfortable. And, how would you handle it? And just ways of supporting each other that don't have to be competing with each other, but can be uplifting and embracing. And that's just another example in my mind when I think about those type of things and how we can encourage each other to do things outside of our comfort zones.
Absolutely. You've mentioned, trying new things more than once. And I kind of live by the motto, if it scares me, that's something I need to try to do. So that is how I try to tackle things like that.
So I have no problem going underwater with sharks, but I'm not a huge fan of heights, and zip lining is one of those things that I just have to force myself to do because I really
Costa
don't
Rica.
like to be that high.
Were you able to do it in Costa Rica when you were there?
We actually did that in Utah, but
Oh.
I did not like it. And I had to get to the other side, and the only way to get back was to zip line back.
But you did it. You did it.
But I did it. But I didn't really want to.
I
But
understand.
I didn't die.
There you
So
go.
there's that.
Something to check off the list.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I know you've given us so much already, but do you have any other important lesson that you've lived through that you can share with everyone listening today?
Oh gosh, I mean, I was my husband's partner in business in a completely different line of work. Um, Prior to deciding that I wanted to own a pro source. And so I would say just be open to change, be open to try new things. I mean, um, I love what I do. I love helping people. I love my staff, my team. I love meeting other teams and interacting with them and getting to learn something new every day. So I think just keep an open mind and keep a positive attitude and keep plowing forward because you'll get there.
Thank you so much. I've really appreciated your time, our discussion today, and I appreciate
Thank you,
you.
Debbie. I
I really
appreciate
think
you
that you've
too.
made a difference to women in the industry.
You guys have been an incredible team to work with. I've known you for a really long time, and I just I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity and thank you for all that you do because I mean, RFMS has made my life a lot easier,
I'm glad to hear that.
especially all the new apps.
Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. Happy International Women's Day. You have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day.
You too.
Thank you.